Stakeholders and engineering methodologies. Oh my gosh. This goes back to something I mentioned before, project management body of knowledge. It's an institutionalized thing within large, very large structures. It's required to meet ISO standards, engineering standards, not science standards, engineering standards, International Standards Organization, among one of many that you have to know about and be able to refer to. NEMA, National Electrical Manufacturers Association codes. Those are de facto law, rules, guidelines, how you have to wire cabinets. If you've done NEMA level enclosures, level 1, level 2, level 3, there might be different now because the complexities of explosion-proof cabinets. You have to know about these acronyms, the concept of what NEMA is and does, and why you have to invoke it. You have to know where to go research it because you can't remember all these rules. So the internet is amazing. The internet replaced books. So, program methodology and the stakeholder. When you develop a program, now I'm talking about a program that's millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. It is a program level for a 30 or 50 year enterprise with hundreds of millions of dollars invested to even begin that task. There are stakeholders. There are the boys that sat down in a room and said, we need to invest hundreds of millions of dollars into a new operation, mining operation in the deserts of Mongolia, mining operations in the western states, the licenses, the leasing, the environmental rules, the engineering requirements to build these massive structures begins a year before anyone hears about it. And as it grows, the program office grows. So these stakeholders, they're always sitting there. They're the ones that say yes or no to almost every decision made. Even when the field engineer is making a decision, he has those stakeholders in mind. What is the intent of the project, the program, the $100 million program that had 500 workers from other places come visit a town or a city for a few years, just a few years, and then they move back home. They're migrant labor, but they're your neighbors. So, stakeholders. These are the people at the top of another video. I talked about the Federal Protective Action Guidelines. These are procedures, federal governmental level procedures invoked when something happens. These would have been a COVID response or a COVID trigger mechanism to turn the CDC on, to allow funding and conversations to happen. These are stakeholders in a program. A project might never see those stakeholders. Those little projects out there, the cabinets, the robotics, the parking lot, the landscaping, they might never see those stakeholders or know their names. But they exist. They own the project. So this is just a fact of large operations. It's how it works. You have a group of people sitting around with a good idea to them and a whole bunch of money, and off it goes. So stakeholders, these are corporate names. These are physical entities. These are legal names. These are contractual obligations. So just like the Rio Tinto corporate executive that allowed sacred tribal lands to be desecrated, He's not living in a trailer park. Stakeholders, very important word, very important concept. It's what you need to drive to see intent. Just like you worry about who the stakeholders are in the media you look at. So, stakeholders.